What's up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, today's video, we're going to be talking about Daredevil number 3 by Chip Zdarsky and Rafael De La Torre. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how the strong winds are influencing Daredevil's campaign to destroy the Hand once and for all. We're also going to talk about what's up with this new villain, Akka of the Hand, and how she's connected to Daredevil's soon-to-be wife, Elektra. And if Daredevil is trying to destroy the Hand once and for all, why is Akka leading him right to them?
You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
One of the things that's been going on with this comic, and if you haven't been keeping up, Daredevil has recently started a campaign to take down the Hand once and for all. He's working alongside Elektra, and it's heavily implied that in order to do this, they have to become married. It's all a part of the ritual of taking down the Hand to create what is supposed to be called the Fist. Now, this isn't an unusual thing because the Hand have a similar thing going on their side of things. If you haven't been keeping up with any of the comics involving the Hand over the years, I would completely forgive you for that because they're kind of all over the place. But we kind of saw a hint of this more recently in Benjamin Percy's Wolverine, roughly around the time of Ten of Swords. When the Hand were putting together what was supposed to be their new leading driving force, we saw two different individuals being married to one another. This was roughly around the time of Wolverine number 6 and X-Force number 13. So the idea of a wedding ceremony tying what would essentially be the leaders of a new organization is not really that uncommon of a practice, but it's just one of those situations. It would probably seem kind of weird if the good guys have to do it, and to create the Fist that would go after the Hand, it's necessary. This is a huge point of contention for Matt Murdock because, as we just recently learned, his more recent love interest, Kirsten McDuffie, we thought that she was killed off by new Daredevil villain Goldie. And this kind of seemed to free Matt up to do what he wanted to do without feeling any level of guilt. But then Goldie reveals Kirsten's not dead. And this puts more of a hamper on things because now Daredevil's conflicted. He wants to be with Kirsten, but he kind of also wants to be with Elektra too because they have history. But with Kirsten, he knows he feels something that might be able to last more than what could with Elektra. All of that aside, Matt is 100% bought in to this new mission, and he even recognizes that there is a huge problem on the horizon for him because he knows he's gonna have to do some things that he may not be able to live with. Matt is a heavily religious man. He is probably one of the most famous Catholics in all of comic books. Honestly, other than the X-Men character Nightcrawler, I can't think of any other character who is as religious as Daredevil. This is why Matt has been making the rounds, making sure he has all of his ducks in a row before he goes and runs off to lead the Fist. This is why he was interacting with Spider-Man in issue number 1. It's also why he's interacting with a more recent Daredevil character of Detective Cole North, a character who has been hanging around since Chip Zdarsky first took over writing Daredevil in Daredevil Volume 6 number 1 in 2019. He's a detective who transferred from Chicago to New York, and his first encounter with Daredevil, he was actually able to hold his own against Daredevil in a fight and take him down to a point where he could arrest him. Now, granted, one could make a case that maybe Daredevil didn't go as hard in the paint against Cole because he didn't want to beat up a cop. But point of the matter is that over time, he and Cole have kind of become confidants to one another. And right now, Daredevil is trying to get Cole on board as well, not to join the Fist or anything like that, but to help be his compass, his moral compass, when he knows he's probably going to do something that will likely lead him to cross the line. And he's very likely going to wind up doing that because, well, for one, while he is being more of a positive influence on Elektra, it almost kind of seems like Elektra is maybe even unintentionally being a negative influence on Daredevil. And what's not helping matters is that the Stromwinds are back. Now, for those who aren't familiar with the Stromwinds are two individuals in the Marvel Comics universe where it just kind of seemed like they were rich socialites who could buy off elections and maybe even potentially get Wilson Fisk elected to the highest office in the United States, that being the presidency of the United States, something that came up during the events of Devil's Reign. Beyond that, we never really knew the full scope of what it is the Stromwinds are capable of, and now we learn that apparently they are willing to flex their muscles a little bit. They have access to high-end technology and seem to claim that they actually have more control over the entire globe, not just America, America, but influence and control across the entire world that is beyond even the scope of someone like Daredevil or New York's own mayor, Luke Cage. Which is how Daredevil learns more about what the Stromwinds are cooking up, because Luke Cage right now is having a meeting with those characters to try and discuss what could be future policy for a neighborhood that the Stromwinds are trying to develop in, and Luke Cage wants things done by the book. But the Stromwinds reveal that they can just change the laws, they can make up new laws as they see fit, because they not only have sway over the politics of New York, but the politics of the entire world. Not only that, the Stromwinds seemingly have thrown in their lot with the Hand. Now, as for what the Stromwinds could actually get from a union with the Hand, honestly, the thing that usually always comes into play is power and immortality. The Hand have the ability to resurrect their followers, their minions, and we've already seen in the case of the Punisher, giving your allegiance to the Hand can net you almost anything that you could possibly want. And what do you give two rich white socialites who have more money than you could ever spend in 20 lifetimes and more power and control than any two human beings could ever have in the entire world? Immortality. Now we discover the Stromwinds' connection to the Hand thanks to a woman by the name of Akka, a character who first appeared in Daredevil Woman Without Fear #1, who we discovered is tied to Elektra. When she appears during that series, she is the one who was the overseer and mentor of Elektra. It's more than heavily implied that Akka taught Elektra virtually everything that she knows since she was a member of the Hand. But Akka isn't just a simple hand ninja. She has the ability to make herself undetectable to Daredevil, which makes some modicum of sense because Akka was also the one who was responsible for putting Elektra on the path of trying to recruit Matt Murdock to the Hand ever since Elektra first appeared in Daredevil #168 back in 1980. Akka is a fighter on which Daredevil cannot contend with. She's just as fearless as Daredevil, she's just as agile and nimble as Daredevil, and more importantly, Daredevil can't track her with his radar senses, making her virtually invisible to the Man Without Fear. Even at a later point where we discover that after she gets the one-up on Daredevil, she actually allows Daredevil to track her, leading her essentially to where she wants him to go. She wants him to follow her. This is the only way Daredevil's even able to keep up with her. And it's here where she reveals that the reason why she's actually leading Daredevil around and telling him things about the Hand and their plans is because she wants all of this to happen. All of this has been prophesized. Not just the Hand and their current operations and what all they're doing over on the Punisher side of things, but also what's going on with Daredevil and Elektra. The Fist is something that was prophesized. It's something that's supposed to happen, and Akka knows that she can't stop it. So she's just gonna allow it to happen because these events have to play out naturally in order for things to go the way that she wants them to go. And no one really knows exactly what it is that she even wants to happen. As she says herself, you have your prophecies, I have mine. Ours show you as the beast of the Fist, while she has found her own Fist of the Beast. And what she's referring to is Punisher, who, as some of you may or may not know, over in Jason Aaron's Punisher series right now, Punisher has dropped his war on crime, at least his normal one. He has now become the leader of the Hand, a position that is referred to as the Fist of the Beast, and the Beast is, for all intents and purposes, the deity that the Hand worship. Akka wants Daredevil to know that the Punisher is the one who is leading the Hand currently, because for one, she knows this is going to throw Daredevil off his game. She also knows this is going to lead Daredevil to actually go after Punisher to try and find out what's going on to further progress matters the way that she wants them to go. Punisher and Daredevil have a lot of history with one another, more than I think most people realize. They have gone head to head against one another throughout the years and have also worked together throughout the years, but they've always kind of had this butting head scenario going on between them. They're less buddy cops and more like dangerous rivals. This puts Matt in an actionable position because he knows that if he is to take down the Hand, this means he's gonna have to take on someone who he wants to consider a friend, but also knows can be just as much of an enemy, and that is Frank Castle. And once again, Akka knows there's nothing that can be done about this, so why try and hide secrets from the Devil of Hell's kitchen? She knows that he has his prophecy, she has her prophecy, these prophecies will meet in the middle, and as she even says herself, that the Fist fits into the Hand. And to get there, Daredevil needs to suffer unbelievable loss. What could that unbelievable loss be? This actually leads Daredevil to wonder whether or not he needs to get the people who are closest to him and keep them close so that he can better protect them from the hand. Namely, characters like Foggy Nelson are the first ones that actually come to his mind. But the thing that makes me wonder is what she said about the fist fitting into the hand. This heavily implies that the hand already have a defense against the fist, or at the very least, the hand is confident in the fact that the fist is no match for the hand. Or maybe she believes that the fist and the hand will actually not fight against one another, but maybe they'll come together and work as one. The organization that is meant to destroy the hand is possibly something that the hand is thinking rather than destroying, maybe they could just absorb it into themselves and make themselves more powerful than they already are. At least that's my theory on the matter. But anyways, if you want to know more about what's been going on with Frank Castle and why Daredevil is on a collision course with the Punisher, check out this playlist right here, and also stay tuned to that playlist because I have more Punisher videos on the way. In the meantime, keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.